For your information, there is in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand, which shares a border with Tibet, there is something called a tri-junction area, which is the western border of Nepal, the border of India and the border of Tibet. They meet at this point, which is called the Lipu Lake Pass. Lipu Lake Pass, joins the Indian territories and the Indian mountains of Uttarakhand into the Tibetan plateau. Now, this is where cross-border trade takes place. It's not a lot of cross-border trade, and this is where people also, if you are trying to travel to or observe Kailash Mansarovar, you would go via this route. The Nepalese have claimed the southern side of this pass, which of course is a territorial dispute. It's never been one of significance that has actually caused bilateral hardship to any measure in the India-Nepal Association or the India-China Association or the Chinese-Nepalese Association in several decades. So, it's a strange thing that's being raised. It could be a modicum of a formality or it could be something else. But the big ticket item, of course, is that the Nepalese Prime Minister has met with the Chinese President, and trust me, they discussed other things and not just the Lipu Lake Pass. And India has security concerns over the things that they've discussed, because the Chinese are building railways and roadways from Tibet into Nepal. That has a direct bearing on coming into a front line with India, because remember the case history of what's happened in the past couple of years, as well as the fact that India and Nepal have a long border, which is a very friendly border at this point of time. And the last thing you want to see is a lot of Chinese who claim a lot of territories in Bhutan, Nepal, to be sitting on the other side of it under whatever pretext. More breaking developments meanwhile coming in. This is another bilateral meeting that has taken place between the Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the SCO summit, this time with Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, where they've been discussing $44 billion of record trade that has taken place between the two countries. Kazakhstan, of course, is a member of the SCO within the logic of why the SCO was created, which was dealing with Central Asia, which of course also has immediate bearings and concerns. This is the area where the Chinese are looking to establish a sphere of influence. This is where they want to build the Belt and Road Initiative, to the new Silk Road to connect to Europe and to the West. And this is the area which still has large natural resources, including oil and gas, which are of course of a global concern. Let me use that opportunity to have a quick point of conversation with Ambassador Yogesh Gupta. Ambassador Gupta, before we come to the crux of the matter, which is Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping will be meeting in a few hours from now, there are a lot of bilaterals happening, and not all of the bilaterals will be discussing things that are of positive interest for India. A lot of them will of course be discussing things which we will not be considering kindly. How do we establish these bilaterals in the global context right now?
Well, I think this is the occasion for everyone to sort of focus on the bigger picture, which is that as the US NSA, Jack Sullivan of former President Biden said that the American brand, because of what its President Trump has done over the past several months, is in the toilet, and more countries are now trying to get away from America and either try to get to BRICS or try to get to SCO. And again, I mean, you see so many heads of state. I think around 20 heads of state and government, who have converged on in Tianjin. And well, when they meet, I mean, they will, particularly in the bilateral meetings, they will of course raise issues of their concern. And as far as India is concerned, I think for us, this bilateral meeting with President Xi Jinping is of great significance.
Okay, I'm going to come to that issue in just a second, because a lot of developments are taking place on the ground. I want to absorb them because all of them have meritorious importance to what is going on. More information coming in. This is in just the past 1 hour. Myanmar junta leader Min Aung Hlaing has also met with President Xi Jinping in Tianjin. Visuals of that now on your screens. This is his second visit to China since he took over in a coup about 4 years ago. Again, Ambassador, that's a complicated association. We have a military junta in Myanmar. We want to establish our own associations, which we have in the past. We have a border area with Myanmar. Many people would argue that a lot of issues happening in India's northeast come across the border from Myanmar, and the Chinese role in Myanmar has been long suspect. So, what do we do with this?
Well, both India and China are major players in this region. And we, of course, have taken care to ensure that we are able to safeguard our critical interests. We have extremely good relations with Nepal, similarly close relations with Myanmar. But then the leaders of these countries will also meet the president of China, and they have their own relationship. So I think that is something which we have to accept, and that's something that we have to keep a keen watch as to what is happening in those discussions.
Okay,
because
so whole
we have
laundry
to
list.
safeguard
There is
our
a whole
interests.
laundry list, and let's not kid ourselves.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.